And we'd like to welcome you into more action, this time get into the afternoon of the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle. We're here, it's taken by Lewis to the net. That one just didn't go. Here's Tremar. Gets it outside just to the blue line. It's LeBlanc that keeps it in. They get caught offside. Moving back, Kaya LeBlanc. LeBlanc looking on the near side, gets that one up over to McKinnon. McKinnon puts it back right in the neutral zone. Tremar chasing after it. Kyle LeBlanc in the zone, works in, waits, will put into the net. It's saved and turned away. A close call already. Felix Arsenault in the net. Some players going down. It's the NB Ice that recover. Both teams granted a bit longer of a warm-up. Riptide were even on before that. Their team was ready. They taken behind the net by Flo. Regathered back by the ice. Selig in behind the net. Regathered by Alain. Up along the boards it goes. It's out of the zone now. Almost a rush initiated there from Nash. Here the Riptide come back. There's a shot. They score! Clyde Jennings gets it started off for the Riptide. They are up 1-0 early in this contest. So that a little unexpected. Both teams with very evenly matched. A quick goal here, walking in the shot, just wide of the net. Loic Alain. What a move from him. Almost tying this one up. Here's Alain. Going back in his own zone. He's going to look across as it gets in the center. He still has it. Here's Alain skating in. Loic Alain. And the no move to get into the zone. Puck's caught in the equipment. Where is it? There it is. Dropped out of someone's pants. Here's Lavoie in. Almost a beautiful cut by Jalisa Lavoie. Now some Riptide players struggling to keep their balance. Here's Malik Calmier outside the zone. It's banked off the boards as continuing. There's Maillet. Maillet moves in past Stay. Maillet cuts in and can't quite get through. It's Bennett Way with it behind the net now. The ice hit the brakes behind the net. Here's Way with the interception. Around the boards it'll go. It looks like it's going to go up to Logan Maillet. Walking in behind the net. Almost getting it stolen there is Marit Calmier. Calmier trying to go up high. He's stopped. Riptide, the shot towards the net. It just flies over. It's stuck on the back of the net. Lavoie now chases it out. Another jab at it. Calmier still after it. Logan Maillet now takes over. Maillet in behind the net. It works back for the NB Ice. Cleared back into the zone. The Riptide keep it in the zone. Smith trying to go around the net. He was taken down. And outside the zone it'll go. Moving back with it. Here's Lavoie. Lavoie going up against the boards. Riptide bring it back in. Shuffling in all along the backhand. What a save, LeMay. Meckery making a great effort to get over to that one. Here's Arsenault thrown out in front off a skate of Mayet still with it behind the net. Collision. There are two members of the ice going down on one Riptide. This one's flipped up, hangs along the dasher momentarily, gets past Arsenault. Tremar trying to get it out of the pile. It's poked loose by Arsenault. Arsenault still chasing after it. Tremere almost getting it. Barely held in at the line somehow by O'Neill as it gets sent behind the net from McKinnon. McKinnon who battles in the corner. Thrown loose out in the slot. Puck sent way high in the air. Still loose between a couple feet. Riptide will be able to give it a soft bump outside the zone. Take it by the ice, going behind the net. Here's O'Neill. O'Neill on the boards. Almost caught by Tedien, but taken away. Could be a break. Going the other way. Lewis all alone to his backhand. What a save. They score. Looked to have been saved, but that does go in the net. Make it Braden LeBlanc. And not Lewis, Braden LeBlanc finding his way all alone. Tripped up on his knees and still somehow manages to get the backhander across the goal line. And delayed offside, going to be touched up. There's a shot after the whistle. Near the ice, moving into the zone. Loyer-Calin has it stolen. Here's a shot from far that misses the net. So two quick goals to start off this game. One coming from Clyde Jennings of the Riptide. Braden LeBlanc responded for the NB Ice. Here's Jay stepping in, going to try a shot on goal. Redirects off a stick and will find its way to the corner. Anthony Tedien will throw it along the boards. Ice move it in. It's Lijal that goes back to his defense. A little drop pass from Vlahopoulos. Over to Taylor, who now is showing off his shifty moves. And gets it outside the zone for the Riptide. Taken away by Lavoie. Lavoie moving to center. She'll throw it up against her bench. It's caught in by Smith. Smith going over to McIntyre. McIntyre up. Lavoie chasing on it, won't get to it. It's offside. Mayet is there first. Face-off will go to the left of Arsenault. Sent all the way down the ice. It's a foot race for it. NB Ice defense is barely going to win, but there were some collisions. And a result now in the puck being thrown outside the zone. The ice still in the zone. Malik Calmier moving it across. Doesn't work. Riptide, the attempted clear. Duffy getting into the zone. Riptide moving it across. Lavoie sent across. Smith to the net. Save. Lavoie rebound also sent wide. Ty Smith right towards the net. jamming at it. And still couldn't get the shot off. Here's Braden LeBlanc. Moving in, shot towards the net was blocked away by McKinnon. Here's McKinnon in the corner being hounded by LeBlanc. LeBlanc takes over, puts it towards the crease. No one there to tap in the loose change. Tremere trying to get it out. Two Ice players collide. Tremere will find the open puck. And he'll skate it outside. We'll dump it in. This one will slowly get into the zone where it's regathered by O'Neill. Cameron O'Neill on the boards, taken by Braden LeBlanc. LeBlanc moving in, has some room. LeBlanc out in front, waiting, trying to pull the trigger. Was Lewis, couldn't quite do it. Now here's Kyle LeBlanc, a risky pass. Luckily doesn't get it picked off immediately, but it will get outside the zone. Kyle LeBlanc will shoot it down the ice. This is icing against the ice. The Ice recover. They throw it against the wall. Held in at the line. Work down. Here's Jennings. Hits the brakes. And the Ice move it up. Across the blue line. Waiting. Cutting back. Loïc Alain. Moved out. Looking at it as Carr. Here, back is Jennings. Jennings again cutting wide and just missing the right post. Would have been his second of the contest, getting down to the final minute of period one. Cleared down where it's redirected on goal. Vlahopolis gets it out as it's right on the blue line. Ijal into some open ice. Makes his way. There's a pass. The shot attempt towards the net. Just misses wide. Doesn't go. The Riptide trying to regain possession. Two players down on the ice. Lejeal trying to steam to the net. Liam Lejeal taken down. It's recovered by Lavoie. Lavoie up for Smith. Smith unable to handle. Lavoie barely keeps the line. Here's Lavoie cutting wide. Might have a chance. Lavoie, the shot, scores! Jalisa Lavoie almost going end to end. Or excuse me, picking it up in her zone, making a nice pass, getting the little give and go, and then finishing what she started. Gets the Riptide back in the lead, 22.2 on the clock. Lavoie skating in, hits the brakes. Going around a bit of a collision behind the net. Out in front of the slot. Good save. Macri. Another chance. They fight for it loose in the slot. The buzzer goes. It's 2-1 Riptide after one. Jennings Lavoie with the goals. And for the Ice, it's Braden LeBlanc. It's Braden Elaine from the Uniplex Unisurface 2026 East Coast Ice Battle. Quick shot on goal from the Riptide to start this period. Barely had time to get the headset back on. As the ice back in the zone, Maya traveling around the boards. Trying to dig it loose out of his zone. The Riptide have played absolutely tremendously through the first period as they cut back to the net again. Looking for an option. There's a backhander by Arsenault. Turned away by Macris. Now it's taken around the board. Here's Tisdale. Tisdale moving up for the ice. Still in. Going in the corner to the front of the net. Loose out in the blue paint before it's swept away by the Riptide defense. Moved up Malone. Malone will drop it off. Looked like that was Smith that tried to trail in. There, both players falling down in the corner. Ringette line. Moving it in, McKinnon. Out in front, the quick shot. Just outside the blue crease, and another dangerous chance. There's O'Neill. Leaving it down. This one looks like it's going to go for Lejeune. Hopped up, bounced off McKinnon, but still will end up outside the zone. Ice win their way in. Brock Lewis in the corner. Looking for it before it's taken by the Riptide as they find their way outside the zone. Working up. Levi J. J skating in, throwing it to the front of the net. Kicked off the pad. Very close to a chance right out in front. Here's the ice coming back over the blue line. Moving in, cutting wide. The shot over the net. Riptide trying to get this one out. Lewis leaving it off. Good passes, but it just is held in as Jay was looking for a little spring pass. And here it is as it goes up against the boards. This time for Smith. Smith moving in had tried to center it out. Jay had been the trailer. 9.5 left in our second frame. As it's sauced up, this one may be icing or it'll not have nearly enough. Smith given away, put to the net by the ice. There it is, and just sent wide. Carter and Nash with a chance. Here's Lavoie. Throwing it into the neutral zone. Alain almost gets poke check, somehow holds on. Loic Alain into the zone, and it finally hits off a skate. So his rush is upended. Puck ends up in the feet of Lavoie. And a huge shot, an even bigger save by Felix Arsenault. That one dangerously close to the net. There's a Riptide player that fell down. Barely held into the zone here by Seelig. Riptide carry it in behind the net. Poked away as now it goes over for Stay in the corner. Taken away by Alain. Alain is a pass attempt to the net. Doesn't go. Here's Seelig at the line. Will let one go. Ended up being a beautiful pass over for Nash. That couldn't quite hold on. Puck was a bit too spinny. Behind the net. Ice will take over. Still don't believe we've had a whistle thus far in this game. Hansen flips it up. It just hops over the stick of Lavoie. Back for the Riptide. Stay. Moving across. Still ends up in with possession. Here's Lavoie cutting to the middle. Lavoie already has one. Tries to get a shot on net. And she is dumped aside. Riptide still battling. We've got players going down on the ice. Riptide stop, top of the circle, the shot, the save, the rebound. Just hits the side of the net. Almost a key chance. And it somehow, some way does not end up in the net. Riptide move it up. Kingston stay. Through the neutral zone, taken away by Maya, where he's picked, pocketed, and brought into the zone by Tremere. Tremere going to end up dumping it in, although it may have been an attempt at a shot on goal. Now to the blue line. McIntyre trying to get a shot off. Can't stay on his feet. Going to try it again. Tremere can't get the shot on. That one just slid off his tape. Looking out in front. Might be next to the goal line. No, it's behind the net. Taken by Duffy. Duffy will go around the boards. That pass taken away. Riptide still hold the zone. Some nice moves coming from Austin Arsenault. Arsenault moving in. Taken down. May have been a collision with his own teammate. As the Ice are finally able to get it. That's Tisdale that gets it out of the zone. Now watch out. That could be too many men. That was very close. Definitely could have been called. Stepping up. There's a shot denied by Arsenault. He'll sweep that one aside. And I believe we may have been going the whole period now, half a period without a whistle. The time really moving here at the Uniplex. Makeda McKinnon grabs it for the Riptide. Unable to get it loose. Walking in, Brock Lewis. Lewis to the net. Scores! Number 9, Brock Lewis will even the scoring as the Ice tie this game up at 2. Just over 5 minutes left, 2-2 game. The game prior also ending within a score of 2 goals, one of them being an empty net. This one shaping up just to be as intense as the game we have here. Braden LeBlanc trying to enter the zone, barely held in after the poke check. Here comes Lewis. Going down the boards, Lewis to the net, ramped off the post, and that one almost went in. Looked to have been going in the net from my angle. Lewis to the net, then redirected away by Terrien. Here come the Riptide out of the zone. There was a bit of a body check along the boards. And here come the Ice back the other way, 4.5, skating up, Lewis. Working down the left side, Lewis the shot. And just missed wide with his attempt. Jay trying to get the puck out. It's Anthony Terrien that keeps it in the zone. Working behind the net is Stay. Hits the brakes, left off McKinnon. Here's McKinnon moving up. Makeda McKinnon moving up with speed. Here's McKinnon stepping up. In the middle, has some room. McKinnon, the shot just over the net. Oh my God, what a chance. Would have been a highlight reel goal for the defenseman going end to end. She'll now go for a change. Here's Lavoie chasing on the forecheck. A good pass over to Alain. He cuts to get out of the zone, but Alain is right there to intercept. Working across, Lavoie into the zone. Lavoie, sharp angle shot. Again, she just sends it wide of the net, not by very much. Carr pinning the target up against the boards. The Ice come back the other way. Here's Alain. Alain moving through center. Cutting into the zone now. Smith taking away Lejeune. Lejeune going up top here for Vlahopoulos. And the Ice now in the zone. There's a wraparound attempt at the side of the net before it's scooped away and into the corner. Lavoie in against the boards. The Ice move it back in. Here's a shot. That one's going to just trickle wide. It's Calmier. Another chance. They score! Right out in front. The puck took a little weird hop. And I believe that's Liam Lejeune. Excuse me, that's Malik Calmier. that gets the Ice the lead late in this second period. Ice into the zone, Tisdale. Going around the net, shot up. The Ice are gonna battle for it just outside the blue line. Working in, Duffy has a bit of room. Duffy, the sharp angle shot, and that'll fly through the crease. Not sure if Arsenault had to make the save or not. Now here's a pinup against the boards. Two players from their respective teams. Defenseman coming down from the line. Duffy looking for a poke in front. Goes up to the blue line. The backhander in from Maillet. Put to the net. Backdoor walking in. Tisdale. And a great save from Felix Arsenault to hold and cover. A great period two thus far. What an amazing game we've had to watch together. And in the comments, tell us where you're listening and watching from. We'd love to hear from you here on MST. In a tournament as big as this, the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle, using multiple arenas with multiple surfaces. I've seen at the AJL, a big crowd there, got some food trucks involved. Atmosphere great for this weekend for some spring hockey. And here the Riptide in the zone, a little spinorama. I believe that was Bennett Way showing off his moves. Cleared into the zone. Shot out, almost, it was blocked. McKinnon brings it back to her own end. She might be trapped here as LeBlanc gonna go get her outlet. LeBlanc pokes away from McKinnon. Thrown out in front. And again, another interception. Less than a minute to go in period two. It's loose. Players jam at it. Sticks keep flying. Looks like Jennings is sitting on top of the puck. The Riptide get out. What a move. Two Ice players hit each other. It's a 3-on-1. Here's Jennings in alone. Jennings on the breakaway. The shot scores. Clyde Jennings with 32.4. He's going to even the score with his second of the afternoon with just a beautiful move. And talk about a game that's just back and forth. And waiting to drop the puck here with just 32 seconds left. But by the way it looks, we're going to go into the second period still tied just as we started this game. And here the Riptide coming through. Some nice moves made by Stay. Stay outside the blue line being hounded down by Alain. It's played into the zone. Taking it for the ice, Vlahopoulos. Stomped, put into the slot. Waiting, the little turnaround, trying to get a backhand off. That one looked to have been Zafaris. And it is going to be 3-3 after 2 periods of play here on MST. It's Braden Elaine from the Dieppe Uniplex on the Uni surface for the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle. But back for the third period. Vlahopoulos from the line. A good save by Arsenault. Definitely did not see it through the traffic. As here's pressure. Lavoie throwing it through. Going back on it. Selig stops. Taken away. Lavoie going into the zone. She's going to take a hard fall into the boards, but get back up. Working around. Smith looks to center. Smith turning, putting it to the front of the net. And no one there at that instant to bang it home. Stay. Going around the boards. Stay stopping. A shot towards the net. And we'll throw it back to the zone. Here the Riptide trying to catch the ice on a change. Here's Lavoie moving in. And some good defense played there by Taylor. The Riptide, Tremere into the zone. Maillet moving it back for the ice. Maillet taken away, moving in. Arsenault wrapping around, waiting backdoor, and the backhander goes just to the side of the net. What a chance for the Riptide to take the lead. Riptide barely hold the line. Here might be some room, just slightly mishandled by Tremere. It's the ice that heads back the other way. Merritt Cormier moving in. Here's the sharp angle shot. That one missed the mark, but not by much. Here the Riptide going through the zone. That's going to be our first penalty of the game. It's going to be a trip going against the NB ice. Faceoff will be taken for the Riptide as they get the game's first power play of the day. Here's Lewis in shorthanded. We'll get it outside the zone as now the Riptide are forced to go out and reset. Working in, Lewis skates in. Here's Lewis cutting to the left. Lewis walks in, the shot scores! And short-handed at that, Brock Lewis, his third point of the night, has a goal and an assist. And there was his second goal, making it 3 points on the night. That one coming short-handed. Now make it 4-3 in favor of the hometown NB Ice. As there's going to be another chance short-handed. That one just misses the net again. Not missing by very much. And here outside the zone could be a break for the Riptide. Ty Smith working his way in, trying to cut to the net. There it is. It bounces out in front. The rebound just sent wide on the backhand. And there's another try. Great position by Mackery. Able to deny that chance. Here off the draw, the save. Lavoie looking for the rebound. It's put back towards the net. Player still scrambling for it, and it'll just go outside the zone. As the Riptide get it loose here, Stay working into the zone. Smith gets that one intercepted. Moved back by the Riptide. Malone tries to find some free space. Here's Kingston Stay moving in. Hops along the blue line, just less than 30 to go. There's the shot that misses. The rebound backhander. Lavoie was looking after it. Couldn't quite get a stick on it. Now could be a break the other way. Lang, it's taken now with a stick, and everyone in this building had the same opinion. Set for the referees here this afternoon. Here's Lavoie. Moving down in the corner, throwing it out in front, it's redirected. Power play now over. Commier is out of the box. So a clutch shorthanded goal by the Ice. And they're in offside. Lejeune just skates in a little early. NBI's back for it. Maillet working around the boards. Cuts and stops. It's taken back by the Riptide as the Ice now move it through neutral zone. Working it along the left side. A little loose puck deke coming from Alain. He's shown he has a lot of hands. Look for him to potentially get on the board later in this game. Moving in, it's Lejeune. Sent around by Jennings. Will be stopped just after the hash marks. Put towards the net. Rebound loose. Shot attempt. Turning and spinning. That one just sent wide by Nash. But another great chance from Lejeune, and he couldn't quite get the shot away. Here's Lejeune. Again, high slot. A nice save. Felix Arsenault standing up tall for his team. Loose right in the blue paint. The shot scores. And the Ice now make it a 5-3 lead as there's another scramble in front of the blue paint that ends up at the right spot at the right time. The Riptide coming back. Jennings working in. Jennings, the shot off the post. Did it go back in? And Macquarie lays on it. And what a chance. Malik Macquarie getting back on it just to lay down, just play dead. And it worked. Just over 6 minutes left to go in the game. The 2-goal game. The Riptide still threatening. What a chance right there for Clyde Jennings. Outside the zone it'll go. The Ice move it back. Could be a rush. Pass to the middle, and that one just missed. Tedien had been just in front of him. Riptide looked to corral it behind the net. That one's taken away by Lewis. Here's Lewis in behind the net. Looks the backhander out in front. Riptide try and move it out, turning around. Putting it behind the net is Tedien. Regathered around. Vlahopoulos, he gets stood up in open ice. And given an extra whack afterwards, Lavoie into the zone. The Ice players down, but a nice play to prevent it. As these two teams clearly showing some aggression and frustration. Lavoie, nice toe drag into the zone. Onside, but just barely. Lavoie poke checked, held in at the line by Hansen. Loic Alain in behind the net, around the boards. Moved in, pass to the middle. No one there, as it's going to be sent into the boards. Riptide player taken down. NB Ice back with it. They move it up. Could be a breakaway. Walking in all alone. Here it is, the backhand scores. And I may have just called it. Loic Alain scores by showing off his hands. And he gets the NB Ice up to a 3-goal lead now. Here the Ice exiting their zone. They work up along the left side. Kaya LeBlanc turning on the jet. There's McKinnon. Getting this one to go around the boards. Almost stopped in. Riptide get it out. Could be a rush, but that one upended by Comier. Ice shoot it into their own bench. Some friendly fire. 3:14 is all that remains. Faceoff will go right outside the NB Ice bench, where it's won by the Riptide, brought in by Stay. Stay on his backhand. Moving in, hits the brakes, looks towards the net. It'll go off the boards, regathered by Lavoie. Lavoie to the middle, off a stick of a member of the Riptide, and Brock Bat the opposite direction. Moving in, LeBlanc cutting into his forehand, couldn't get the shot off, and eventually fallen down. So Stay in behind the net. Curls around, gets past LeBlanc, little reverse hit, if you will. And here's Lavoie. Lavoie moving in, trying to find some open space. Shot towards the net, off the pad, the rebound, and the slot, they score! And now could be a last-minute push. As the Riptide get one back, it's now only a 2-goal game. Looks like that may have been Carr that got to it first, so it's Hattie Carr who gets the 4th goal for the Riptide and 1 goal back from this 3-goal deficit. Hansen will shoot it into the zone. Stopping him behind the net, Maillet. Turning, taking it back behind the net. Ice really just trying to play defensively sound to end the game. And there's, it's poked all the way down the ice. This one won't go for icing as we reach less than 2 minutes left to go in the third. It's a 2-goal game. Shot up, caught here by Tremere. It gets outside the blue line. Shot right back in. Tremere's on it. Working up, Arlo Tremere to the middle, waiting, shooting, saved by Meckery. He didn't know exactly where it was for a second. Now just a minute and a half, 2-goal deficit. Wonder if we'll see Arsenault head to the bench. Jennings wins the draw, sends it to the blue line. Shot is blocked. Malone turns. Tries to spin it to the front of the net with a little no-looker. The Riptide take it back. Jennings trying to push it to the net. Caught in the zone. It's sent off the boards. But the ice perfectly positioned to get that one outside the zone. Now here's a breakaway. Merrick Cormier dangling in, and the shot, it just ramped off his stick. Went to the side of the net. Another try put to the net. Still bouncing loose under a couple bodies. Players falling. And around the boards it'll go. Here's Jay that moves up. Jay and O'Neill go in behind the net. Thrown out into the slot where no one was waiting. Now it gets less than 30 seconds left. McKinnon moves across the red line. Cuts in. Could be too many men. As it almost was. As the Riptide are a bit late to get players off in that change. Here's the puck sent out to middle. Less than 10, stopping Vlahopoulos. Vlahopoulos. And there as well as Lewis. And that will end the game. The NB Ice take it by a score of 6-4 here at the 2026 East Coast Ice Classic. Rain lane from the Uniplex on the Unisurface here in Dieppe, New Brunswick for the 2026 East Coast Ice Battle.